Yo, 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 welcome back. Episode 16, Pain to the
Man,
Pit podcast.
Sweet 16.
We are, how y'all feeling? We a few weeks away from WrestleMania, a few weeks away from the NBA playoffs. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good?
It's a beautiful time, man. It's a great time.
Beautiful time, man. How you feeling? Oh, you good? I mean, thumbs up. OD Iota, I mean, playing it smooth with the
Come on, man.
sunnies on. Not playing with my bro. Big bro by day. You know what I mean? So speaking of it being WrestleMania season, right? And we going into this. There's a lot of conversation around Jey Uso and the Gunther match. A lot of botches that people are talking about, lack of build up. There was a tweet that came from Sir Adam 03 underscore where he said WWE put themselves in a nasty situation here. If Gunther wins, it kills all of Jay's momentum and their new baby face by him going 0-4 against the wrestling champion of the world, who's been kicking his ass for over a year now. Their first match was in February 2024. If Jay wins, it proves that WWE is not a wrestling company, and all you need is a catchphrase to get success. Plus, bloodline nepotism wins again. It also kills momentum and hype of Gunther, as he used to go 30 to 40 minutes against the best wrestlers in the entire world, but loses to the guy who can only do 3 moves in less than 18 minutes. So it was a very, very interesting tweet from Sir Adam03. Go follow him on his social media platform. If you want more tweets like that. But Jay, what you think about this tweet and everything that's going on with the Jey Uso Gunther
Yeah, man.
promo?
That's an interesting take. I'm not fully against it. I'm not gonna lie. It just because the chatter that I've seen online recently is like people increasingly have not been feeling Jey Uso at all. I don't really know why. I mean, I can kind of understand why, but it just is interesting that everyone seems to like Jey Uso as gimmick as he is, right? They love the crowd work, they love the theme music, they love when he comes out, but when it comes to the in ring, the wrestling stuff, like there, people seem to have a fault, which is weird because it puts you in that awkward position of like, okay, like we like the guy, but we don't want him to be the guy. Like it's so weird, but I have to say I agree with that tweet because it definitely puts him in a weird position. It puts Gunther in a weird position because we have already seen what his title reign has been. It hasn't been the best. He's barely been defending the title, barely defending guys. And Gunther's supposed to be what? This ring general, right? He's supposed to be the guy that comes in the ring. He's going to give you a solid 35, 40-minute match.
Yeah.
He's going to do all the technical work. You're going to come out like, oh shit, like that was a cool match. Same way we felt when he did the triple threat with, who was that? Sheamus and Drew? Yeah. Sheamus and
Yeah.
Drew. Same way we felt about that match. We all came out of that match like, yo, like he did amazing with these guys, but his title reign been awkward. And now you throw Jey Uso into the mix. It's like, okay,
Smell my food.
great with the crowd, but it's just his in ring, the botches, he falling over the road, tripping. So it just, I don't know, man.
Take
I
cooking.
I hate to agree with it, but I understand. I'm just worried about what's the after effects because I do feel like Jey Uso's still gonna win. I'm just worried about
Yeah.
the after effects of like what goes on post WrestleMania because that also matters too, right? Like we want to know to see that have a actual good outcome for him. But yeah,
Nah, no, 100%, bro. 100%. How you feeling about it? Oh,
I unfortunately agree totally with the. Sorry for bringing y'all around the crib pod.
nah, man.
It's my
I
first
mean
downstairs.
house tour.
Nah, man.
But I totally agree
Responsibilities.
with the tweet for a number of
Yeah.
reasons. But the main reason for me is that I feel like Jey Uso has not been showing his full skill set in the ring. So it's starting to make him stale as far as a competitor in the ring. It's starting to make him really stale. And Gunther has fought a lot of wrestlers that were quote unquote, because I don't know. I don't know if I could say that with so much just due, but he fought a lot of wrestlers that was so called better than Jay in the ring. So it's kind of tough for him right now. It's kind of tough for Jay because where do you go if he lose? And then if he win, where do you go for Gunther? Do you just make him get a rematch and then he wins again? Like it's a weird situation. It's a weird booking.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to lose in a character way. I think it'd be easier for Gunther to bounce back rather than Jado.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah,
point.
for
It's a
sure,
good
for
point.
sure. I mean, I completely kind of agree with both of you, and then for me, the angle I'm taking on this is kind of like, damn, man, like I just felt like an opportunity was missed here, right? And for me, the more I'm watching these promos, specifically this promo with Jey Uso and Gunther, like I mentioned to y'all before, they had this weird segment. I think it was this past Raw where if you could see on the split screen, you got Jey Uso walking up the steps on one side and
Mm.
Gunther on the other side. And
Yeah,
to me, that type of stuff, like I know it's like nitpicking, but like when you trying to find a string to hold on to on a
Hmm.
storyline, you start nitpicking things like that because it's like it's not making sense. And for me, it just brings up to a bigger point for me personally. And I know we'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on it, but it just came to my mind. I know we talked about it before, but like this leads me to thinking about like this build up for WrestleMania, right? And how I'm feeling about the build up. We recently heard the news. I believe it was this past Friday. It was confirmed that Roman, Seth, and
Hmm.
CM Punk will be the headline confirmed for night one. Obviously, I don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but nobody have to speculate that John Cena and Cody is going to be the main event of night two. So I wanted to start this off with you. We had spoke about last week. I had brought up the fact that Royal Rumble was always presented to us as the winner goes
Mm.
on the main event WrestleMania, right? That's always been how they presented it to us. And the fact that not only the Jey Uso match, and I want to highlight this, the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair match is also not headlining a WrestleMania
Right.
main event, right? And Charlotte Flair was the Royal Rumble winner. So just how do you feel about that? Do you think it matters? One, and do you think in some way, shape, or form it's potentially impacting not necessarily just the Royal Rumble, you could touch on that point, but just the WrestleMania build up in general, how you feel about it, and if you have a feel about the way we won't have any Royal Rumble winners main event in WrestleMania, and if it matters.
I actually did research on that, even though it's more than quote unquote. Damn,
Man,
airplane about to fly in the window.
you got listen,
Yo, these days, bro, I
listen.
can't
Yo,
fault you for thinking
We got
that.
got 100 guns, 100 clips out from New York.
yeah,
Bro was like,
that
that's kind
sounded
of close.
crazy though.
That's funny.
Yeah.
After I did research on this topic this morning, I came to find out that it's more often that this happens. It's been a lot of people who won the Royal Rumble and then main event
Oh,
more than we believe.
Mm.
But the bad part about it is that they have to stop presenting it as the Royal Rumble equals main eventing WrestleMania when the Royal Rumble actually just means facing the champion at WrestleMania. I think if they would more so point it in a direction that it's understood between hardcore fans and them, because the
yeah.
casual fans not going to care. It's the hardcore
That's
fans who
true.
really going to have a real gripe with it because it's
Hmm.
more so like, what are you trying to tell us here? Are you telling us this or that for a hardcore fan? Whereas casual fans, they just gonna watch the pay per view. But
No,
they
100%.
just have to be more honest with it. They have to tell us straight up what it is and stop making it seem like it's event to main event mania when it's more so an event to just face the champ
No, no,
or
no, 100%.
whatever champion. But
No,
yeah, I
100%.
did the research. I was kind of shocked at the amount of people that won the Royal Rumble and then didn't main event, especially over the last 10 years. I didn't know it was that many people. Like it's like a normal thing in a sense almost. That's also bothering for me because when I got into wrestling, that's not what I was brought up on as a WWE fan. But I don't know. Guess times is changing.
Yeah, times have for sure changed, and that just kind of, for me, that's kind of why I wanted to. Y'all can see me.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like something kind of just like
Nah, you
froze a
got.
little bit.
I see what
Just
you
making
mean though.
sure. Yeah, you saw that, right? I was just
I
like,
seen a
just
little
wanted to
shift.
make
So I'm
sure.
like, okay.
Yeah. Nah, for me, it's just like, from the standpoint of it being Roman, Seth, and CM Punk, right? Obviously, you probably can't get three big in there. You respect it from that standpoint and from the business standpoint. But for me, I think it just highlights the lack of build up, the lack of the vision, the lack of everything, right? Because now, if you make me believe that, I have to believe CM Punk and them going to close night one, John and Cody going to close night two, right? So then you telling me are two those two other matches going to open WrestleMania? Is Charlotte? I think I'm kind of going blurry, but it'll fix. Is
Yeah, you
Charlotte
can. Yeah.
and Tiffany going to open, and then is Jey and Gunther going to open night two, or reverse? Like, how do you then book it? And then now you're letting me know that maybe Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky is going to be smack dead in the center of somebody's night. And again, I get that everything can't main event, and I get that this camera got to fix. Hold on. I'm like going in and out. But whatever, I'll keep talking. It'll work itself out. But I get that everything gotta everybody gotta have a spot, but I don't think not having a championship match in the main event of WrestleMania is crazy to me. But how you feeling about it, Jay?
Yeah, I'm kind of where O is at, like to kind of springboard off of what he says, like like in an aspect of the casual versus the hardcore fans, like we talk about this stuff because it matters to us, right? Like we care more about the impact of certain events versus say like a casual fan who just might be like, oh, I just want to see my favorite guys go out there I'm just here to watch. But we've been fans for so long, like, so what does the Royal Rumble mean to us, right? What does, like, say, Elimination Chamber mean to us? What does this world title mean? Like, all these things have history and story behind it. So naturally, you want to see, okay, Royal Rumble winner, go to WrestleMania, main event, win the title, yada yada yada, and go from there. And then to have this change, it's very telling. And to even think about like other tweet I saw too, there was like this is about to be one of the lowest ticket sales for this event for like a WrestleMania in like quite a while. I think since like 22, WrestleMania 22.
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, that, and like you said, it goes for in terms of build up. Like there's been hardly any build up for stars. Like the everything's been weird. It's just kind of like thrown around. It's very frantic. Like you don't know what's what. Like we don't even know what the night one card is looking like yet. We don't even have a full.
Yeah.
We got maybe like 5 matches we could think of on hand that we know is gonna happen, and those all have to do with the titles. But maybe that's also the problem too, right? It's just like we're in a spot now where okay, the women are getting more shine. There's more titles for the women. Now we introducing the world title back to the men. We got also the Intercontinental, the U.S. title. It seems like they're trying to throw those around as well. So it's like you have all these titles and all these stars. It's like, how do you book that and fit that and give everybody the proper time and shine everybody in the right light and have the right writing? It's tough. So I can
Yeah.
empathize with them in that sense as a business and producers and struggling and trying to put out a good product. But it's like, where do we keep the traditions or do we just change with the times? Like, because like I said, like the storytelling should matter. Royal Rumble should have impact. Royal Rumble winner should have impact. That should mean something. But it seemed like they kind of trying to find ways to just get away from that, and then it's just whatever hot moment is hot. That's what we want to put as the main event. Seems like they're just too online.
Yeah, but it just, and again, I'm not going to use this opportunity. I'm sure people watch it, they think I'm just so anti Cody, right? But I'm not going to take this opportunity to do so. But like with all of basically the same players that you had in last year's WrestleMania available for this year's WrestleMania, even including The Rock, even including Seth, CM Punk, everybody that was around last year. It's like it's crazy to think that like I was so much more excited for the last two WrestleManias, probably the last 3, 4 WrestleManias, if I'm being honest, than I am for this WrestleMania. And I was sitting like trying to watch, trying to get excited for this WrestleMania, and I'm like, damn, I just don't feel it. And it's not like I'm less enthused as a wrestling fan to watch wrestling and be excited for matches. It just seems like, shit is just not being done correctly, or like Triple H is getting some things wrong. And to me, it makes me think, what is The Rock's influence in all of this, particularly with the storyline that he's a part of? One, and two, it's just like, I just don't get the direction. And I
Hmm.
know we say that a lot of the times when we're dealing with build-ups and stuff, and like, oh, we got to see how this works out. We got to see what they do. But this one feels weird with us being like 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. I feel like we didn't get a great John Cena promo yet, which is surprising to me. I feel like none of the Jey Uso Gunther promo was great. I feel like the random fighting between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair is cool, but like, okay.
Mhm.
You know, the Bianca Belair storyline, we got to wait for that singles match. I think that's happening tomorrow with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley to kind of see if that match still going to be triple threat. But we kind of know that's going to be a triple threat if we were betting, man. So it's like the CM Punk triple threat match, they really didn't sell that to me well either. So it's like, I don't know where to go to find something that I feel was really sold to me well. But I don't know, if you got an opinion on that or anything else you wanted to add to the mix.
I like what they're trying to do with John Cena. I like what they're trying to do with John Cena. I wish that he spoke more with Cody. Well, I wish that he spoke to Cody in general. I don't see how after John Cena beats him up and stuff like that, all Cody is doing is yelling at him, and he ain't try
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
beat him up. A little awkward.
100%. And it's like, we know John Cena got the mic skills to do it. Pause. Like, we know that. That's
Mhm.
not even something that
Mhm.
we will debate here. Like, can you think John Cena can hold his own against Cody Rhodes on the mic in the ring? Like, of course.
It's a little awkward right now, but hopefully they got a few weeks, so hopefully they can figure it out within the next few weeks and come together to build the show a little bit better. But it's gonna be tough because weeks is flying, and the episodes don't
100%.
seem that long.
I think even kind of the way like, if you listen to our tone and our like body language and how we even having the conversation, we don't even sound like inspired wrestling fans. And I think no, and I'm not saying that as a knock against us because
That's real.
last year when we was talking about WrestleMania, bro, we was hyped, bro.
Mhm.
Everything,
Mhm.
yo, you saw the press conference. Oh, CM Punk, The Rock smacks Seth Rollins. Oh, Seth Rollins smack, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, they having a tag match.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like that was us last year. Now it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we're doing,
But I guess we got to
and this
see.
is the one this is the one that's in Vegas too. So I'm like, what? But again, like we always say, we'll see. But you can't give me one great CM Punk, one great John Cena promo and make me go, yeah, you fixed everything for me, because it's also about the build up, right? You got to make me hype about building up to this WrestleMania, and
Mhm.
I don't think it's an older thing because, like I said, last year we was mad hype. We was talking about everything last year with WrestleMania. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. We'll kind of see how it go. Monday Night Raw is tomorrow. We'll see what great promos and stuff come from that. Wrestling's an interesting space, y'all. Wrestling's an
Mhm.
so hopefully when we
Oh
talk
yeah.
about WrestleMania in 2-3 weeks, we'll look back at this episode and be like, we was wrong.
Right.
Yo, when I have these
God.
negative comments, I want to be wrong, bro. Like, it's not an ego thing with me to be right. Like,
Mhm.
I be like, damn, I want to be wrong sometimes, and this is one of those times. But we'll be right back to talk about NBA and some more people being wrong and some of the things that they're doing. We'll be right back. Paint to the pit. We'll be
Yeah,
raw
fuck it.
and uncut and unfiltered. Right back. Paint to the pit podcast.
Sorry, guys.
Episode 16. We are here. I didn't give O the proper time to prepare, so that's on me. I don't want nobody to think, ain't
No,
doing
I'm
what he's
fat.
supposed to be
I'm fat.
doing.
It's all right.
But
I'm fat.
that was on me. I
I
ain't give
said
O
I'm
enough
fat.
time between hit and record. But I did think it's important for hopefully the last time on the Paint to the Pit podcast to really dive deep into this Stephen A. LeBron James drama. As we saw this past week, Stephen A. did about an hour, 15 hour, and 20 minutes on Pat McAfee, where he addressed a lot of things from growing up in
Mhm.
Akron to playing with the Heat, the Heatles, everything about his cookies on the plane. But one of the most important topics, obviously, he spoke about
I'm
was
happy he addressed the
Stephen
cookies.
the Stephen A. Smith, right? Saying Stephen A. Smith was, quote, on the Taylor Swift tour run, was talking about the incident between him and LeBron at the Knicks game when LeBron approached him about, just saying, keep my son out of this. There was a lot of back and forth. I don't want to highlight what was said on anybody's side to try to, seem misleading in terms about how I feel about the situation, but I'll go ahead and just kick it off and say, for me, just certain things is just off limits. I'm not even going into the Bronny stuff, no more of that stuff. When you bring up Kobe Bryant's funeral, bro, like that's to me where It's like, okay, you can
That
be
was kind
mad
of
at
crazy.
LeBron. You cannot like LeBron. You cannot care about what he said or how he went about it. To bring up Kobe Bryant's funeral to try to drive home a point is like, that's telling to me as a human. And I'm not here to say people don't make mistakes. I'm not here to discuss who should be talking about Bron. Like, we had that discussion. But for me, when somebody brings up someone else's death to bring up a point or to try to,
Nasty.
to me, to me, it's just like, come on, bro. Like
That's lame.
at that point, it's like, what are we really doing here? And I will say, Brian had his opportunity to finally speak on it in full. I hope he's over it too. I hope he's done. I hope there's no more tweets and stuff from LeBron. I hope he moves on. But same with Stephen A. Again, but
Not
I
to cut
just
you off, bro.
nah, go ahead, bro. You got it.
I don't know if Braun done. He seen Nick Wright yesterday and gave him
I don't know if he done.
extra love. Like stopped everything he was doing, dapped up him, his family.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. I mean, Braun gonna dap up. Like, you probably gonna dap up the people that usually making you look good out in these streets. So shout out to LeBron. We know how Nick Wright feel about LeBron. That's the only angle for me I wanted to touch on. Again, I'm not here saying cancel Stephen A. or Stephen A. is trash or whatever the case may be. But to me, I just look at that and say that's corny. And then when I go back and look at the Kyrie Irving situation with the vaccine, I say that's corny, right? And at a certain point, we got to start asking ourselves, when someone's back is against the wall, you kind of see who their true character is. And when you seen Stephen A. Smith back against the wall with LeBron, and you seen Stephen A. Smith back against the wall with Kyrie, you kind of saw the true character of him come out, right? And those are the things that we got to pay attention to when we listening to people talk. It's like, it's okay to have your opinion, but when you see somebody's personal, when you see somebody genuinely just dislike a person, to me, that's when it goes, okay, I can't take what you're saying seriously. And now I know, like I said to y'all before, if it's cool to have your credentials, but if you're doing everything, if you're doing the same thing that I'm doing, your credentials to me don't matter. So if you're doing clickbaiting things, if you trying to go viral by saying things, if he would have hit me, I would have swung immediately. When you start doing those same things that we know people that's trying to go viral do, your credentials to me go out the window. I don't care about how many years you went to school for journalism when you're talking about fighting a man that never said anything about fighting you. You know what I mean? Corny stuff like that. To me, that's corny. Now, did LeBron have to go on Pat McAfee and say he's going to be in his tidy whities eating ice cream and stuff? No, LeBron is bigger than that. Now, was it entertaining? Was it funny? For sure. But was that something he should have done? I don't think so. But again, you could look at each. But if I'm being honest and weighing it, LeBron saying another grown man is in his tidy whities compared to somebody being wrong, not even just bringing up the funeral, being wrong in the fact that you brought up the funeral. You know, I look at you differently, but would love to know how you feel about not necessarily what I said, but just the whole topic in general, Jay, and how you feeling about it.
Yeah. I'm in the same realm. I mean, but the thing for me is I'm not totally bothered by what LeBron did, going on Pat McAfee and saying all what he said and kind of just taking us through that hour 30 he did, because I feel like as far as I've seen, LeBron has always kind of been like taking a back seat to what people say about him. Like, he don't really pay attention and he just go out and ball, right? Like, we voted on LeBron for that. He try not to say too much, or like he'll just give like a like a sub on his Instagram or a story or something. But that's as far as he go. But for him to come out and speak and like actually see his perspective, that kind of gave me like a new insight to how LeBron is. I'm like, oh, like damn, like maybe Stephen A. really was wilding, because he wasn't.
And he cracked jokes like us, right?
Yeah,
Not to
right.
cut you off, right? He be petty like us, like cracking the same type of jokes.
He the same regular. I'm like, damn, I ain't really know LeBron was like this.
Nah,
Honestly, I've never seen him speak in this actual capacity, probably outside of podcasts.
yeah.
But it just it just was Stephen A. I think the whole thing was lame. Like you said, the Kobe thing, it just, and then to go and try to apologize for that and say, oh, I shouldn't have brought this up. Like that was my bad. It's like, yeah, you're bad, but you looking for like ego points at this point. It's like you're looking for he's saying things so that he can get user 23507 to like him on Twitter. Like that's really what it comes down to. Like he's saying anything and everything to just get, like you said, the clickbait. It's all about the engagement. He want all the ratings and views on him, and that sadly is what journalism has become these days. It's weird. Like you said, the credentials thing. Like all of that doesn't matter if you're on here just farming for brownie
Yeah,
points, for cool points. So you like just to try to discredit somebody, and it's like you taking the lamest approach. That to me that
corny.
that's whack. Yeah, like
It's corny.
so not saying I'm picking sides, but I understand where LeBron is in his right to speak how he felt about it or say what he want to say, because at the end of the day, it's basketball, right? Like we here to talk about the game. We here to enjoy the sport, enjoy the highlights, enjoy the plays. But it seemed like these guys who are outside of the sport don't actually play, but write and commentate on it, want to make it something other than it is. And that's probably why we have the landscape we had today, where it's like everything is just we looking for the clickbait video. We looking for the highlight pass so we can shit on the guy who was defending him. It's
Yep.
just what it's become.
No, no, for sure. And quickly before let O chime in real quick, but that's why for me, like I appreciate those guys like a Dan Orlovsky, right? And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you're always an apologist for quarterbacks and stuff," but you need those people to put sports in context for you,
Mm.
right? Like I understand that sports is on a surface level, right? It's about winning and losing, right? It's about you have to score more points than your opponent. That is the goal. But at the same time, there's nuances within a game that when you watch these shows, they don't talk about, oh, okay, maybe that guy ran that wrong route because they don't understand. They're not discussing routes. They're not understanding, oh, the defense kind of threw this quarterback off here with that.
Mm.
That's why he threw that pick because the defense kind of confused them. Because usually when they in this defense, they usually showing this pressure, but they switch like they don't highlight those things when they talking ball.
Mhm.
They don't ever talk about defensive schemes. They don't ever talk about adjustments that was made after a timeout or after halftime. It's literally just wins and losses.
Yep.
Who strategy on a star player. They just say, "Oh, that star player had 10 points and he was 9 and he was 2 for 12 from the field." That's what they
Mhm.
say. But in football, you do see the conversation of like, "No, like this was the defense. This was the offensive package. They didn't have this left tackle. This person wasn't there. This person was suspended." So I think even with Adam Silver coming out saying, when he watched other sports, he feel like it's more celebratory as opposed to, criticizing the game. So that's the only thing I wanted to add to that. But how you feeling about this topic? Oh, and what Bron said, stuff Stephen A said, and just trying to put a bow on this whole topic, hopefully.
I think unfortunately Stephen A has took the low route and proceeded to continue to take the low route to a point where he can't fix it. And LeBron, of course, was a little disrespectful and things of that nature as well. But he never publicly like really attacked Stephen A. in a sense.
Yeah.
Like the tidy whiteys is just
Yeah,
play.
it's petty. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
you know what
petty.
I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
playing. Like
It's funny. Having
so,
fun.
Mhm.
but Stephen A's bringing up Kobe funeral. That's Bron friend. He know that guy personally.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, man. Stephen A. got a lot of work to do if he gonna quote unquote become the Democratic Party
Yeah.
representative. He got a
Hey,
lot of
shout out,
lot of work to
shout
do.
out to Stephen A. Man,
That's a
shout out to
fact.
Stephen A. and Braun. And I just wanted to add, like, I'm not tripping over Braun. I just said that was something Braun probably couldn't have did, and it would have been okay. But I'm not mad at him for saying that man was in the tighty whities. But last thing, if I may, just for like 2 minutes, I know I spoke about it with y'all, but to me, it also made me think about how I told y'all this, how our elders sometimes don't age the right way, and I
Mm.
think looking at this is a highlight of that for me, right? Because older people with the wisdom and the experience, Stephen A was in his 50s, maybe mid 50s, maybe closer to 60. I don't know his exact age, but like those are the people that you're supposed to go to for the wisdom and for the advice. And those are the people that historically wasn't gonna try to get down to a child's level or get down to a young adult's level and bicker and go back and forth. It was just about the respect being reciprocated both ways, and I'm getting the game for you, and you trying to set me up in a position to be best for the next generation. But it doesn't seem that way. And I know this is just a microcosm, and maybe this may be overthinking it to an extent, but it really made me start thinking about that, right? Because you got these guys that only can hold on to what was, right? They can't move on to what is and what it will be. And when you watch these guys, like Bronny is what Stephen A is probably 30, 40 years Bronny senior, right? And we never look at it from that perspective when we watch in sports. We never say this is a 55-year-old man talking about a 19-year-old kid, you know? And
Yeah.
I think in entertainment, we don't look at it that way for obvious reasons. But I do think it's important that we start highlighting that the disconnect between generations is a big one, and this is just a microcosm of it. But if nothing else, if nothing else needs to be said, or if y'all have any more thoughts on this topic, or can we put a bow on it?
Nah, I'm in agreement, bro. Nah, yeah, I feel the
So,
same. Yeah, um, just a real quick, like, I guess tap into the elder conversation. That is true, and that's why I've always kind of like wanted to see a person like Ronnie succeed because, in my mind, it's like it kind of puts certain conversations to rest. It's like, okay, like this is somebody that can come in, and we know like he's the 55th pick. Like we know he's a second round. Like he has to develop, and if for him to be where he is and hopefully develop into somebody that becomes like a solid role player, possible starter. Like who knows? We don't know. Like he's a kid. He's like 19, 20 years old. So it's like you want to see somebody like that succeed. Why should we spend time as the older generations shitting on a kid because we want clips for TikTok, we want clips for Instagram, we want clips for ESPN.com? It's like we like that the older crowd has lost so much of that when it comes to these young guys. Like they lost so much of
Yeah,
just
yes.
looking at them as players and having a respect for like what they're doing, because that shit ain't easy. It's not easy. There's only a couple
It's
hundred players in the league.
at all, bro, at all. And like to me, I always like to draw parallels, right? Like if I got problems with bro, and we whatever our issues are, that has nothing to do with how I'm gonna talk or interact with his children, bro. And that's another thing. But don't even get me started on that. Like we could have these conversations forever, like about how adults be taking a petty issues and passing them along to the children and being nasty to people's kids and stuff like. I'm not even gonna do that because that like stuff like that really grinds my gears, bro. Like it really really does, bro. Like
Hmm.
this is supposed to be like let's push the next generation together, right? And I understand there's an entertainment aspect of it, there's an honesty aspect of it, but you can just say, all right, Bronny got to keep improving, but that's not what's going to get you the clicks. The clicks is going to get LeBron. I'm begging you as a father, stop this. That's the clicks, and I think sometimes people act like they don't understand. We're talking about these extreme examples on both sides. We're not talking about the casual, sports conversation. But it is what it is. But speaking of the casual, common sports conversation, I did want to get y'all thoughts just real quickly. We 10 games away from the NBA playoffs. Oh, I wanted to
Mm.
start with you. We 10 games away. NBA playoffs. Certain teams locked up their spots. I believe Cleveland, Oklahoma City locked up their spots. Obviously, Lakers, Denver, Memphis, Houston, all kind of fighting for that number 2 spot. We lost Damian Lillard for the season with a blood clot. Detroit is playing some of the best. Detroit and Chicago is playing some of the best basketball I've seen like in a while. Like Detroit won 3 times as many games as they won last year. Or like so, just so much great things happening in basketball. AD came back. Salute to AD. That was going to be my paint to the pitch shout out. But because we're talking about it now, give AD the shout out for coming back. So just wanna with all of that great stuff that you heard, everything that's happening, getting ready for the playoffs. Just want to know if it's a team or two that's maybe surprising you that you think, all right, look out now, that might be a dark horse for the playoffs, and just how you feel about where the teams are and where basketball is in general heading into the playoffs.
dark horse is going to be the Lakers. You need to watch Luca, Braun, and Austin Reeves doing. I think Braun has been playing a little injured. I ain't gonna lie, he's playing a little injured, but he working his way back. And
Yeah,
I think the songs that's coming out about him is helping inspire him a lot. I think he
LeBron James, LeBron.
Yo, I've been on that all week.
Classic, classic, man.
I think
I
he's
remember,
fire.
I remember Chantel sent that over to me, man. I was like, yeah, I gotta. This different. This different. But yeah,
Yeah, crazy, man.
shout out to that.
LeBron really
That's funny.
got these people on. Yeah, I think the Lakers are starting to ramp it up. I think the camaraderie starting to come along. So I
Yeah,
think that's a real dark horse for me. No bias,
LeBron
a little
James.
bias, a little
Oh
bias.
yeah, and if I can, if y'all don't mind, 10 seconds. Our homie Rich, we was on the game the other day. No. This is going worldwide. We was on the game the other day, and it was
Really?
day one of the MLB season, and we was discussing the Lakers. I Rich Lakers fan, and he was like, "Call me when the playoffs start." I automatically took his Lakers card. And Rich, if you get to the point in this video, yes, I'm putting you online, bro.
Yeah,
That broke my
Rich.
heart. You're not like when things break your heart, you over exaggerate it. That broke my heart. So, Rich, I had to put you online, bro. I ain't. We out here fighting for the 2 seed, and he like call me when the playoffs start
When the
for
playoffs,
opening day of baseball.
What's that? MLB
Like that.
first.
Nah, Rich. I want the world to see this. I want the public to see, and that don't ever let Rich talk to you about basketball again. He not a real fan. Nah. Yup. I said it. Somebody clip this and send this to Rich.
So
Yep.
anytime you talk about the Suns, he can't
Bro.
say no.
Nope, can't say that. Broke my heart. Call me when the playoffs start. What? We not even a player. We're not a playing team for the first time since the playing started. And Rich talking about call me when the play. What? We've been playing team every year. Nah, got Luca. Shout out to Rich though, but yeah, Jay.
Shout out, Rich.
Any thoughts on like NBA? How you feeling about it going to the playoffs? Any dark horses?
As usual, the West is crazy, man. Them standings is ridiculous. It's like what, 8, 9 teams over 500, like
Yeah.
10 games over at that. Like, oh my
Yep.
gosh. I mean, the East is the East. I feel like that's you can. I mean, I'm a little surprised at Detroit though. Detroit, shout out to Detroit.
Bro,
They started to really
fifth
get
in
it
the
together
East
this
right
year.
now.
Yeah, like over
Yeah.
Milwaukee, over Orlando, over the Hawks, Bulls, Heat, and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, what you said? Cleveland. Cleveland is in. Boston is in. Knicks is in. From what I'm seeing.
Detroit
Uh,
don't be too excited. Y'all ain't gonna win shit though.
Yeah.
I understand
Nah,
these
bro.
guys is.
that's yeah. I'm
I
not gonna lie.
understand
They
that
ain't gonna
That's
win that.
you guys are big up in y'all, but y'all not winning in the next four.
Malik Beasley, why you couldn't hit them threes when you was on the Lakers?
Because nobody
I know.
persistent games.
Yeah, that's true. But shout out to Malik Beasley. Like like I said, can't make the conversation about the NBA negative. Shout out to Malik Beasley cooking in Detroit. I
Mhm.
mean, but they say Detroit
Yo,
basketball.
I'm
Shout
a
out to Detroit.
I'm a little surprised with Houston too. I
Are
don't know.
you?
I
Oh,
just never saw them being a 2 seed.
oh, I want what you was drinking this year then.
Yeah. Bro.
I'm just a but it's the West. Like, look at every team besides them. You wouldn't think that. I'd see them maybe as like a 5 or 6 or 4. I'm surprised they too. They
Bro,
Yeah.
one game above the
the only
Nuggets.
reason I'm gonna disagree with you, bro, is when you got a good two guard and a good power forward or center in the NBA.
Sengun.
Raps.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
raps.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got a good guard and a good big man's raps. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seed
Hmm.
every year.
Yeah.
Going past fifth.
Shout out to Houston, man.
For real.
Fuck them. We played them tomorrow.
We just
I mean, we about to copy and paste that parlay, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Luca
That
for the
that that
25.
that that parlay is the parlay that I'm going to keep playing every time, bro. I promise you. Because even when I haven't made the parlay, watching the games is like, I understand probably why I didn't get that. It was one of those.
I'll tell y'all watching the pod what the parlay is. Y'all gonna have to tune into
Y'all gonna have to tune in.
Uh,
Paint to the Pit bets coming soon. Where we gonna be on here talking bets, getting these parlays in. You know what I mean? Helping y'all get to the bag. Hopefully we get to the bag. Paint to the Pit. But this has been fun, y'all. We had fun this episode. You know, we on the road to the playoffs, road to WrestleMania, but right in that gray area where things still feel a little stale. You know, not quite in the car yet, but you packing your bags, about to head out the house. So to use that analogy, so we are in a good spot. Paint to the Pit. We will be back. What are we looking like?
Two
What is this?
weeks.
30th. 2 weeks is the 13th. Mania. 2 weeks is Sunday the 13th. Mania is that next weekend.
The next weekend. Yeah.
So paint. Y'all think it's probably best to come back Mania weekend, or y'all want to do?
Unless
Y'all
we
want to
try,
do?
unless we try to live stream for Mania.
I'm with it, bro. We could
Possibly.
do both nights. We could do both nights. All right. So Paint to the
I don't
Pit
know.
gonna figure this out.
My house split during pay-per-views and stuff.
That's perfect, bro. We need raw, authentic
What?
energy.
He said,
Huh?
What's the date?
What's the date? The 19th and the 20th.
yeah.
Nigga, the party. Be on live fan watching. Like, yo, Sky. New champion. But Paint to the Pit, we will figure this out. We will let y'all know. We will be back. Episode 16.
On the
As
board.
always, we appreciate y'all for rocking out with us. Subscribe. All of our platforms.
Yeah. Like,
YouTube, TikTok, IG. Leave
save.
some comments. It's the stuff you want to talk about, and we will see y'all next time. Paint to the Pit. Before we go, I had to do this. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. I always wanted to do that. I had to do that. Wait. Oh, whoa. I'm bugging. We can't leave. I ain't get y'all shout outs from the Paint to the Pit. These past 2 weeks. Nah. I think the fans be looking forward to that. Looking forward to the shout outs. We started with you. Oh, putting you on the spot. Give me a shout out
Me?
from the NBA or WWE, something that made you hype or disappointed you since we last recorded the pod. Paint to the Pit shout outs.
Shout out to Bianca Belair, starting to cast
For
her
sure.
as a top 5 black wrestler of all time.
For sure.
I know BET just released their list, but we gonna do a recount soon after we win this championship.
Nah, for sure.
We taking this championship when we going home, and then I want to shout out also another black wrestler, Naomi, because I felt like her promo was fire.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think she deserves a shout out because she did a really good job promo.
Shout out to Naomi, man.
Black.
Anything from the NBA you want to shout out? Anybody, any team that you hyped about, disappointed you?
No, not basketball. I want to shout out Ray Phoenix too. Basketball,
Okay.
basketball is like everything is everything with basketball. Shout out to LeBron.
Yeah. Shout out to
That's my nigga LeBron.
Hit the goat.
for me, quickly, basketball, I said it already. Shout out to AD, man, with a lot of speculation that he might shut it down for the season because Kyrie was out. You know, he put the big boy pants on, came back to work. You know, they won a couple games with him back in the lineup and stuff. So I'm happy to see that because although AD not a Laker anymore, like I'm still a huge fan and still hate the narrative that people try to put on AD. So shout out to AD. From a wrestling standpoint, that's a great question. Who did I see these past 2 weeks that made me go, well, shout out to the Street Profits, man. I think it was dope that they won the titles, but it's also
Yeah,
dope.
they again.
They look to part. They getting better every week. And I'm excited to see them. They look like they found their joy back in wrestling again. So I'm excited to see the Street Profits tag team champions, and hopefully they get a nice spot at Mania, right? And hopefully it ain't no just tornado tag team match, bro, where they just put all of the tag teams. But shout out to the Street Profits because I do think as a tag team they deserve a middle of the card match on one of these nights where they get to put on some good spots.
Starting to feel like that's what this WrestleMania theme gonna be: triple threats.
Yo.
Yeah, unfortunately. But how you feeling, Jay? Your shout outs, Paint to the Pit.
actually want to give a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
On the NBA side, I'm like, damn, because I seen Memphis fired their head coach. I was like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah,
it, I don't know, that just stuck out to me because that feels so weird. It's like, damn, y'all 44-30 in the playoffs is like not even a game away. Like, why y'all
yeah,
firing coaches, moving? So that just stuck out to me because that was weird. Like, I've never really seen
yeah.
that. So I'm like, all right,
10
well,
games left.
I guess Memphis' chances is over if they had one.
Yeah, yeah.
Them with
They ain't never had no chance. They ain't really never had no chance.
Right?
Only
Not
unless they
5%
play
of zero.
Houston in the first round. Houston in the first round is a puncher's chance. I think them other teams, they get them up out of there
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
shout out to
Easy,
John Morant, though.
easy.
Yeah,
Nah,
shout out
He's
to.
been
facts.
playing really well lately.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the
Yeah,
last 20 games, he's been looking like Morant. Real.
yeah, Marie.
Ja
Word.
Morant.
Because he was scaring me at one point in the season, 14 and shit. I'm like, what the freak, bro? Had to
Yeah,
girl,
Good for you, bro.
which too many curses.
Um, side, I probably give hats off to Jimmy Uso. I felt like just
Yeah.
putting Jimmy in this little, yeah, like putting Jimmy in this little spot for these last 2 weeks. I've liked it, honestly. Sometimes I feel like he cut better promos than Jay. Just
he
saying,
always did.
just
He
saying.
always do. He always do.
You
He
felt
always
the
do.
impact of that
Yeah,
promo. I'm like, yo,
Jimmy's
he
the
always do.
main event, but they don't want to
Yeah.
push him.
they don't want to push
That's why Drew McIntyre's promo was the great. He was like, Jimmy. Hey, didn't recognize which one of it you were. I'm paraphrasing. He was like, you could have been Jay had you only said yeet first. Said, yo, Drew McIntyre. Yo, next pod we doing rank these wrestlers on the mic, bro. Drew McIntyre gonna be in that, bro. Shout out. Matter of fact, that's who probably should have got my shout out this week. Shout out to Drew McIntyre, man. But paint to the pit. Paint to the pit, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us. And we
For
will
sure.
see y'all next time. We are out. Yeet.